What is science? Is it mucking around in a lab? Is it trying to make inventions? No, it's something much more simple. It is the simple human desire to advance, our collective dream of the future, a way for us to connect to the people of the past and those of the future. Science connects us all, as it is one single effort contributed to by everyone, a dream of a better future. And no man represents this better than the son of light, human history's greatest scientist, Nikola Tesla. So if you find yourself entertained at any point during the video, then consider liking, subscribing and ringing that bell. Anyway, on with the video. Tesla is the smartest man in human history, something made very clear in his introduction, where before we even see the Child of Light, we first witness the passed out bodies of all the other candidates for that title. The greatest minds in history all passed out from exhaustion. Yet among all these great minds, one person remained standing, the only one whose mind was great enough to not give in to exhaustion. His love for science was so great he would never grow tired of it, this of course being Nikola Tesla. One who, unlike the other champions of humanity, does not boast the physical ability or fighting skill to rival the gods, but instead the mind to challenge the divine. The only issue was he before lacked the material. The only thing preventing Tesla from becoming a god in his own right was the limitation of the world around him. But in Ragnarok, through his union with Gondal, he was able to manifest what for so long has just been in his mind into reality. And he uses this power to fight in round 8 of Ragnarok against Beelzebub. The depression-ridden god who seeks death and only thinks about the past is the one Tesla must illuminate with his light and positivity. As he enters the arena, he literally flies. He does the impossible to show what is possible. Backed by the sun, he both comes to represent a bright future, but also show the heights we can reach. Something that inspires all of mankind, but most importantly, the children, those with the most potential and possibilities for the future. As the match begins, we see no aggression from Tesla. He walks up to his opponent unguarded and examines him with the unbridled curiosity of a scientist. In his own words, this will be some wonderful material, because even in a deathmatch, Tesla can't help but look at anything from the lens of possibility, of what he can learn and how he can progress forward using that new knowledge. When Beelzebub says he will destroy Tesla, Tesla explains his dislike for destruction, calling it a most foolish act because it is the very abandonment of the act of creation, the ideal he holds above all others. As he explains, what he values most in humanity is their ability to create. He does not discredit the sins of humanity, but instead sees them as trial and error. The efforts of the mortal trying to create something new without the divine gifts of longevity. Humans envision a future and strive to achieve said future, is always a step forward towards the future. That is what humanity is to Tesla, a collective ideal of progression and innovation. Hence why he looks down on the gods and Ragnarok so much, because their destruction is the antithesis of everything he believes in. And as such, because he believes so strongly in this power of humanity, he has no doubt that humanity will prevail and survive. Ragnarok will not come to pass. Man in general represents the greatest attribute of humanity as a species, that we progress. When Beelzebub attacks him without moving when it seems like an act of sorcery, Tesla instead proclaims, "No, non, nine. This is no magic, this is science." Because to Tesla, even the attack aimed at his life is a chance to learn something new. He won't leave anything unexplored. The vague label of magic is not enough for him. He must test it, study it, and understand it, as that is how a scientist thinks. Every outcome has a cause. If you understand one, you can understand the other. Nothing is beyond comprehension, even the gods and their ways. I imagine if you ask Tesla why the gods are superior to humanity, it would simply be because they've had more time. Anyone can become a god, it's just a matter of learning how and advancing towards that level. And that is what the culmination of his research achieved, his divine weapon, the Super Automaton Beta, because even one lacking the physical might of a god can reach their level through science. And the most key point of this is that this great power isn't just Tesla's own efforts. It was the combination of his mind, Gondal's body, and the aid of human history's greatest minds that made this all possible. This was not lone power, this is the culmination of many, the power of not a man but of humanity. Because to stress, Tesla is the representation of our collective desire to advance of humanity as a whole, hence why he says to Beelzebub, our power will reach the gods. And well, as cool as that sounds, this power didn't actually reach Beelzebub, being blocked by a shield of vibrations. But does this annoy Tesla? Of course not, because this is another hurdle to overcome, another chance to learn. He will overcome it as science has no limits. Which is complemented by a fun exchange between Tesla and Beelzebub, with the Lord of the Flies telling Tesla he is too weak to destroy him, which in a way is true. However, how Tesla replies to this is what is so important. He essentially agrees that he is too weak, but only right now, aka in the present. As he says, the present may be yours, but the future is ours. What cannot be done now can be done later, it's only a matter of time. And to show this in as blatant a way as possible, Tesla ascends to godhood himself. Gematria Zone, Prison of the Gods. In this 9.63 by 9.63 meter world, you are no god, I am. Apart from being one of the hardest lines in the entire series, this perfectly shows what I've been saying, that the gods may be the superiors in the present, but the future is ripe for the taking. The potential of humanity is infinite, perfectly represented by the sign of infinity that Tesla weaves on his ascension to divinity. By the end of Ragnarok, the status quo will change and the humans will no longer be seen as inferiors. Both the gods and humanity will be equals, and Tesla here, by literally levelling the playing field, proves that is possible. Now, when we see Tesla's first flashback, something one might notice is the lack of, well, Tesla. Instead, his first flashback is set after his death. It explores not Tesla the person, but instead the inventions he left behind, even showing the trial and error of science in the pursuit of advancement. In this case, anti-gravity, and later on, teleportation. Because although Tesla himself is a great man, what he represents is the achievement of man beyond a single person. These small flashbacks focus not on the present of Tesla's life, but the future, of what his efforts went on to do after his time, a literal representation of his philosophy. Where before Tesla was halted by the defences of Beelzebub, now he can reach the gods, he has advanced. And the moment Beelzebub adapts, Tesla drops another fire line. The wonders of yesterday are today's common occurrences. Science has no end, it is ever advancing. And then Tesla does it once more. He advances, teleporting behind Beelzebub, a move no one saw coming, and nailed Beelzebub once again, reaching the gods. And then because he is Tesla, he explains how it works to Beelzebub and all its weaknesses. Because to withhold information is a crime to science itself. Science is the act of sharing all the wisdom you acquire without restraint. It is because of this that humanity has advanced to where it is now. It is because of science they now have the chance to fight and win against the gods and take hold of the future. As the fight continues, Beelzebub begins to fight for something beyond his own death. For the sake of Hades, he wants to win, and as such he resorts to an attack of great destructive power, chaos. In the face of humanity's logical science and desire to create, Beelzebub uses literal chaos and utter destruction. Can science withstand this? That becomes the question. And although it cost him a supercoil, Tesla did survive, because they have no end. As we learn in Tesla's backstory, as a child he looked up to one person more than anybody else, his older brother Dane. Now Dane was a prodigy, a genius child and master inventor. As a result, he was always helping out the villagers with their problems, solving them with science. And the reason he did this was because it makes people happy. Yet he lacks the confidence. What if something doesn't work? But to that his brother Nicholas says that it's okay if it fails, because then you learn something new. It is exactly because of failure that humanity evolves. Dane made inventions to make others happy, and the one made most happy by them was Nikola. But tragically Dane died young. Trying to make others happy, he put himself in danger, working on a windmill in a storm, and sadly he died. Of course Al, the man who asked him to make the windmill, felt guilty, responsible for the boy's death. But Nikola didn't see it that way. His brother hadn't really died. No, he will live on forever through science. And he inherited his brother's will again through science. He improved upon his brother's windmill and made it work. This being beautifully shown by how he took over his brother's workshop, the Gematria Zone, and then in the present story perfected it into an actual cage of the gods during Ragnarok. Science and, well, humanity as a whole is all about passing down will. Adam passed on his will to protect all his children, and because of that 13 of them have now stepped up to fight to protect mankind. Tesla kept his brother's dream alive in his heart, and after his death his will and dreams were taken on by the scientists to come after. Science never ends. Science connects us to the future, to people we may never meet, but through science they still can relate to and understand us. And for such a reason, as long as science persists, so will humanity. The moment all humanity lost hope, one man stood tall with a grin on their face and looked towards the future. What Tesla gave humanity in this round was hope, a bright light in the darkness and inspiration for all. He gave them the light he once used to illuminate the world and now use it to illuminate their hearts. He unites humanity as one, much like Adam did in round 2. Like how science is the culmination of all that came before, Tesla is the culmination of the hope of all humanity. And so he advances, an unstoppable advance. It becomes a battle of humanity's greatest spear versus the gods' greatest shield. Will the status quo of the gods remain unshattered, or will humanity smash through it and advance? And well, he may not have shattered it per se, but Tesla did reach Beelzebub. Teleporting just his arm, Tesla caught Beelzebub in an unavoidable pincer attack. To reach the gods by not brute power but ingenuity, so very Tesla. Learning from Beelzebub's self-destructive fighting style, he came up with this plan on the spot, taking his teleportation and advancing it to even greater heights, into a new form no one had ever seen before. He continued to advance even here at the final clash. Yet even so, Beelzebub saw that coming. In the same way science connects us to the rest of humanity, through fighting Tesla, Beelzebub ended up connected to him too. He opened up in this round and got to know Tesla not just as an opponent but as a man, and so was able to trust in him to try something outside of brute strength. However, even as he faded away, Tesla did not feel sad, because even if he lost, science prevailed. As he says, "Through this fight we have evolved once again. As long as we don't give up in science, in humanity, Ragnarok will never come. Humanity, look forward. Humanity, don't stop. Humanity, 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 advance forward." In a way, Tesla's final words gave more to humanity than his victory could have, because it gave them hope in the face of defeat. Like his brother, he may have died with his work unfinished, but like how he was able to finish his brother's windmill, humanity will finish his work and they will win Ragnarok. By inspiring, by teaching, he instilled in them all the merits of science and by extension humanity. If he didn't give up hope even as his soul was banished to Niflheim, then they shouldn't give up hope either. I wholeheartedly disagree with everyone that says Tesla should have won, because Tesla winning would defeat the point of his character. He represents advancement beyond oneself. He represents mankind as a collective. Him dying and passing on his will to those still standing is the essence of everything his character stands for. It is the very definition of science, a passing of the torch towards the future, towards a collective goal. Tesla surpassed the gods in that match, as Zeus says that attack of his exceeded even the imagination of a god. He advanced past the present and made the gods witness the potential of mankind. And because of that, I have every faith his will be passed on and we shall prevail and claim victory in Ragnarok. And if you want to support this channel even further, then perhaps pledge to my Patreon or consider becoming a channel member so you can get your name at the end of the video, like Hikari Desu, Rinjak9696, Mr. Sputum and Matthias Rowett. So with all that said and done, I have been SephTheSin, the deadly sin of geek, and I'm signing out. Stay safe, everyone.